Edinburgh, literally on campus. An ensuite bathroom, a room, a bed, a desk. I'm not really sure why it is almost £2,000 more expensive. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for coming back for another video. This will be one of my last videos about the University of Edinburgh because I have recently graduated and will no longer be on campus or have anything to do with the university. However, on reflection, when I look back to first year, one of the most difficult things was finding the best accommodation to stay in when I was in first year. This task was extremely stressful and I had no idea where was best to stay in Edinburgh. I actually live close to Edinburgh anyway, but I still didn't know where the accommodations were located and where the best place to stay would be, and of course I didn't know what a good price to pay for the accommodation would be. So in this video I thought I would gather all of the options that I thought were relevant to me, and having been in and around Edinburgh over the years and having stayed in my first year halls, I decided that these were probably the most relevant accommodation to stay in, and I have ordered them in terms of budget. So the first accommodations will be cheapest, and then we will go on to the more expensive, and we will end on a wild card because it's just interesting to look at the different accommodation around the city. So all of the accommodation types that I have picked are from the University of Edinburgh. You can find them on the website. I will say all of these accommodations have RAs, resident assistants. They literally live in a flat next to you, maybe even in your flat, most likely in a flat next to you, and they will stay with you for your whole year in first year, and you can go to them with any problems or issues that you have, and they will actually organise events and activities for you to do throughout the year. So with these accommodations, the range in price varies depending if they are self-catered or catered, the location that they are in, and most importantly if they have an ensuite or a shared bathroom. These are really the factors that vary the price between the accommodations. If you're applying to the University of Edinburgh, you will have 5 choices, and out of those 5 choices they will try give you at least one of the options that you picked for your accommodation. Me, I got maybe my 4th choice, and from speaking with a lot of my friends, they didn't really get their first choice. They usually got the most random choice that they picked. However, rest assured, any accommodation that you find yourself in, I'm sure you're going to have a great time there, and some are more basic than others, but quite honestly in first year you don't need that much to survive and have a good time anyway. So I will say Buccleuch Halls once and twice just to say don't stay in Buccleuch. There's just no needs to be up at Buccleuch. Buccleuch is a very typical area for a lot of English students and international students and Scottish students as well to go and live in. Buccleuch is catered. All of the options that I will show you today are all self-catered because I really think to get the best university experience you probably want to live in self-catered, you know. So without further ado, let's get straight into talking about the different accommodation, because I know that's what you've clicked on this video to see. Accommodation number 1 is Hermits Croft. This is where I lived in first year. I had a great time here. It is self-catered. You have 5 people sharing one flat. Everybody has their own room. There's a shared kitchen and it has a little bit of a living room there as well, and it is a shared bathroom, and there's also one extra single toilet. It is basic, I'm not gonna lie. Hermits Croft is also right under Arthur's Seat, which is such an ideal location. You're not paying huge money but getting a really good location and a quite basic place to stay. But for £4,333 a year, it does the job. You know, there's RAs, as I said, resident assistants in the flat next to you or maybe in the middle flat, and they'll be able to help you with anything that you need. Hermits Croft, there is like 2 sister accommodation, that is South Clark Street and East Newington Place. South Clark Street is just a little bit more expensive because it has the common room, but literally only maybe £100 or £200 a year more expensive. South Clark Street has the big common room and the 3 accommodations, that's East Newington Place, South Clark Street and Hermits Croft. We all do activities together in the common room when you first move into the accommodation, And East Newington Place is very similar to Hermits Croft. There is a shared kitchen, shared bathroom, it's 5 in a flat, and you each get your own room. It's a really nice environment to be in, it's self-catered and it is basic, does the job. It's one of the cheapest accommodations, and for me, I found it really great to live there. East Newington Place, South Clark Street and Hermits Croft are extremely close to campus, a very ideal location, which is why they are such good value for money. It's only a 5-minute walk to campus. I had no regrets living there. It was a really easygoing place to be. Everyone was so nice, and as I said, it is basic but it's cheap and it does the job. So yeah, East Newington Place, South Clark Street and Hermits Croft, basic but good value for money, I would say. Okay, another accommodation that I wanted to talk about that is also £4,333 a month is College Wynd. This could either be the best location or the worst location for you. It is down in the Cowgate, which is where all the clubs are and a lot of the clubs that students go to are. So that's up to you to decide whether that's good for you or that's going to be a distraction for you. Also, it could get a little bit noisy at night because the club and nightlife is down there. It's also very close to the gym, and it's also very close to Grassmarket, which is a gorgeous place in Edinburgh to go visit. It's near to the Royal Mile, a very traditional old street where there's lots of shops, and as I said, near to the university gym and near to George Square campus as well. So it's up to you to decide. It's the same price as the first 3 that I mentioned. Maybe a 7-minute walk to campus, very close to the gym, and also in and around different parts of Edinburgh. Again, it's a very similar setup to the others. It's just a little bit of a different location, and I will put the location here so you can kind of see where that is in regards to the university. Another accommodation I wanted to mention is Mylnes Count. This is located on the Royal Mile, one of the most historical streets in Edinburgh. These buildings are absolutely beautiful, and again, that's up to you to decide if that would be an ideal location for you or not. It's probably about 10 to 15 minute walk from campus. It is the most central place in Edinburgh. You are on the Royal Mile. It is close to Princes Street, another shopping area, Princes Street Gardens, a gorgeous place to go and relax. It's also close to the nightlife and the clubs, the Grassmarket, the gym, the university. This accommodation is very central, and it's up to you if you want to be kind of in and around the tourists, because that's more of a tourist area rather than the others that I mentioned are more central to campus, a more student area. So that's up for you to decide. The building is very old and unique, so it would be a really cool opportunity for international students or anyone that's interested in history to be able to live in this type of accommodation and pay like student prices and not private rates. It would be a really great opportunity to do that on kind of a budget, on a student budget. Okay, the next accommodation is Buccleuch Place. Some students struggle to pronounce this name. It is a very old Scottish name. This location is extremely central. It is literally on campus. There are actually classes in the buildings in Buccleuch Street, so it is very, very central. These are old refurbished Georgian apartments, so again, it is a great opportunity to be paying student rates in what could have been a private let. These are actually like old Edinburgh flats, so again, they are very beautiful inside. The price ranges quite a lot for these flats. For the cheapest, you would need to share a room, so that would be a twin room. There's also a standard single, and obviously a better room that had, or better, I don't know, another room that has an ensuite, so you wouldn't have to share a bathroom. So that price range is quite a lot. It is very central, right next to campus, so you know, you got to take that into kind of consideration. Again, it's in kind of the hub of the student area in Edinburgh, and honestly, you could never use the excuse of being late to class because of traffic or having to walk to class, because you're literally on campus. The next accommodation is Warrender Park Crescent. This location is really nice. It is just off the Meadows, which is this gorgeous big park just outside of university, probably about a 10 to 15 minute walk to class. This is an old school, so again, it's another really beautiful building. That comes with pros and cons. It has high ceilings. I never went in there, but I have stayed in an Edinburgh flat before, and these old buildings are typically a little bit colder than, say, your kind of modern or even the the first accommodation that I mentioned in this video. So you've got to take that into consideration, but this place has a big common room, which would be a nice place to relax after class, meet up with your friends, have somewhere to chill out. Again, here there's the availability of a single standard room with a shared bathroom. It sounds difficult sharing a bathroom, but once you do it, it's really not difficult at all. You know, you have cleaners once a week that will come in and clean the kitchen and clean the bathroom. With all of these accommodation at the University of Edinburgh, you do have a cleaner that comes in to clean the bathroom and the kitchen and even hoover the hallways, which is so nice of them to do. So it might sound difficult sharing a bathroom with 4 others or sharing a kitchen with 4 others, but you definitely find ways to get around that and actually start to enjoy the experience, and as long as you get on with your flatmates, then I'm sure it will all be fine. Okay, now we are moving to the more expensive accommodations that the University of Edinburgh has to offer, still within the self-catered budget. Salisbury is a really lovely modern build just next to Hermits Croft. I used to pass it on the way to uni sometimes and I used to think, oh, these apartments look so nice, but I was more than happy with Hermits Croft. But anyway, Salisbury is all ensuite bedrooms, which makes the price increase quite a lot. Also in Salisbury, they are quite big flats. It can range from 6 people all the way up to 10. So although you have an ensuite, you then have to share a kitchen with a lot of people. But as I said, there are cleaners that come in, but you have to do your own dishes, of course. They just clean like the bunkers and stuff. So you got to take that into consideration. It's an ideal location, only 5 minutes from uni. It's right underneath Arthur's Seat as well, the same as Hermits Croft. So it's a really great location. You have your ensuite, but you're gonna pay a little bit more for that ensuite. And as I said, the kitchen is shared with a lot of people. Stop being grumpy! Okay. Anyway, yes, Salisbury has a little area next to the kitchen where there are sofas and you can sit and relax there. There's also a TV. Ramping up the price point again, we move on to Deaconess. Deaconess is actually an old Victorian hospital and it's on the same street as Hermits Croft in Salisbury. It's the same street that leads down to the university gym. It is also only a 5-minute walk to university and it is really nice to look on the outside, but it's just, you know, kind of modern apartments on the inside. This price, I'm not sure why it's more expensive than Salisbury, because you're kind of getting the same sort of service. You know, you're getting an ensuite bathroom, a room, a bed, a desk, and it's quite close to uni, again next to Holyrood Park. I'm not really sure why it is almost £2,000 more expensive, but yeah, Deaconess is another option. It is also self-catered. You would have to make your own meals. I think it's up to 6 in a flat there, so again quite a big flat, not as big as Salisbury. Paying a bit more there and I'm not entirely sure why, but it is a nice place to stay, so it's up to you to decide if that's the place for you. Alright, I wanted to throw in the biggest wild card right at the end here, because there is no nicer place to stay in Edinburgh than the Quarter Mile. The Quarter Mile is right next to campus. It is along the meadow front, which looks out onto this gorgeous park in Edinburgh. However, the price point here is just unmanageable for students. They range from, you know, £1,000 to up to £3,000 a month, which for the most part is just not what students can afford. I definitely could not have afforded to live there in first year, but these apartments are super nice. They have a kitchen and a living room together, joined, open plan. They have a bedroom and a bathroom, but to be honest, they're not much bigger. They're definitely not much bigger than most of the accommodation that I mentioned. They just look really nice from the outside, so if you are passing by, just have a little look, but that's a complete wild card, and if you can afford that, then good for you. It was definitely not something I could afford in first year for sure. Anyway guys, that has been a whistle-stop tour of the accommodations that I would have considered when I was in first year at the University of Edinburgh. I hope this has been somewhat useful and you're able to go away and consider the price point, the location, shared bathroom, kitchen experience, and what would be best suited for you. I have obviously stuck with self-catered accommodation in this video because I believe that is really good to learn how to cook, how to clean up after yourself. Either way, I'm sure you're going to have a brilliant time best of luck at the University of Edinburgh. Grasp every moment, try get on with your flatmates and have a really great time. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. You can subscribe to my channel for more. You can also head over to my Instagram and check me out over there. If you have any further questions, feel free to drop them below or head over to my Instagram and send me a message there. Have a great time at the University of Edinburgh. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one.